Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today we break out all the technology. Andy's got the rundown.
Sam, today we're going to meet Congressman Jon Porter. He's from Las Vegas, a Republican, and he may have something to do with keeping nuclear waste out of Yucca Mountain. And then we talked to Kathy Augustine, controller. Boy, she's mad. Sam?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Keith Lee, Martha Gould, and George Peak. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool, play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are pleased to welcome from Nevada's 3rd Congressional District, Congressman Jon Porter. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, sir, live by satellite.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. And Andy, it's great to see you.
It's good to see you.
Okay, I want to dive right in here. Over the weekend, and certainly throughout the day yesterday, stories being revealed from former Chief Weapons Inspector David Kay, that there have been no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq since the last Gulf War, and that scientists were asking for money for projects and then absconding with the cash from Saddam Hussein. And Tariq Aziz is reported as saying that Saddam Hussein has been basically clueless for the last 2 years. Are you curious as to why our intelligence services didn't have a clue about all this?
Well, I think first, if we could finish the quote from Mr. Kay, he also said Saddam Hussein is not unlike ants looking for the honey. And the bottom line is that they were looking for means to create and to continue using weapons of mass destruction. Not unlike if I knew one of my neighbors was guilty of murder and was out looking for another weapon, I would be very concerned. So absolutely, yes, I am concerned. I believe that we did the right thing, but we also need to make sure that our intelligence community is doing a better job than they have been. But the bottom line is Saddam was a weapon of mass destruction himself. So I have no doubt we've done the right thing. We just need to improve upon our intelligence gathering. But the bottom line with that, Sam, as you know, it's a people business. And there's room for error, but we have to improve upon our intelligence gathering.
Congressman, I want to switch subjects here a little bit. I want to go to the nuclear waste. We know the Department of Energy is planning on buying a lot of land to build a railroad track in order to ship nuclear waste here. Now, you serve as vice chairman of a subcommittee that has some oversight on that.
Absolutely, and as you know, to my friends there in northern Nevada, been fighting Yucca Mountain for over 20 years. Now having an opportunity to work from the congressional level, I have requested a hearing to be held in Nevada regarding the transportation of high-level nuclear waste to make sure that Nevadans have an opportunity to hear exactly what's happening, but also my colleagues. I think that that's a big part of our argument yet, is for those other communities across the country to realize just what that means to have high-level nuclear waste traveling through their communities. So sometime in a not-too-distant future, we'll be having hearings in Nevada with members of Congress on that very subject.
Recently, we had county commissioner on here from Nye County, along with a member of their redevelopment board, and they were enthused about this project. They were hoping that if this railroad were built, it might be able to be used for other purposes, to be able to haul things through central Nevada that will be benefiting the economy. They've also taken large amounts of money from the Department of Energy and are putting those into trust funds in Nye County. How do you feel about that?
Well, I have great respect for my friends in rural Nevada, but I think that we need to have I know we must have the hearings to make sure that it is safe. As you know, Congress has approved the site of Yucca Mountain, but I still think we have to have the proper hearings to make sure our communities are aware exactly what's passing through our communities. And this battle is being fought currently in the halls of justice. I'm pleased that our Attorney General, Brian Sandoval, who was, of course, key and the leader in our fight in the halls of justice right here in Washington. It's out of the hands of the politicians. It's now in the hands of justice. But back to the railroad, I think even my friends in Nye County would appreciate having all the facts before they make their final decision as to whether they support this project or not.
And Congressman, you're the former mayor of Boulder City, so you are somewhat familiar with what these local communities have to go through and what they're faced with. When you hold those hearings, will you hold more than one in various locations in Nevada?
Well, I tell you, right now we're scheduling members of Congress to come into the southern Nevada area, but I'm certainly not opposed to inviting and have additional hearings, maybe on a smaller scale, because it's tough to get the schedules together. But, you know, as the mayor, a prior mayor of Boulder City, I really do understand the challenges for these small communities with their budgets. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them to have input. Many members of the County Commission of Nye and Lincoln have been in Washington in recent months stating their opinions. So I encourage that and look forward to meeting with as many members as I can.
Recently, Vice President Cheney visited Las Vegas on your behalf, and that's a pretty influential person there. Have you had conversations with Vice President Cheney about this topic?
Well, actually, on the topic of Yucca Mountain, every time I see the president and every time I see the vice president, we talk about Yucca Mountain. They know that I'm adamantly opposed. I do support their administration. They're doing a lot of great things. We talked a little bit before we were on the air about the economy and how jobs outlook is looking better, but across the country, people are getting back to work. I support the president's proposal and what's happening there. I support the president and the vice president on their means of helping with education.
Okay, but Congressman, what do they say about Yucca Mountain when you tell them you don't want it?
Absolutely, we disagree. They say, John, there are 49 other states that want to have Yucca Mountain, and we're doing our best to serve the whole country. And that's really a good point, Sam. I think it's important to note that for the past 20 years, every presidential administration has supported Yucca Mountain, not just the Bush administration. You know, even under Clinton leadership, we spent close to $8 billion building Yucca Mountain. So it's been a bipartisan effort to send waste to Nevada from 49 other states who want to get it out of their communities.
Excuse me, Congressman, I hate to disagree with you, but in fact, President Clinton did veto some legislation that would have ensured Yucca Mountain viability.
But Andy, I would hate to disagree, but I tell you, under his administration, the Department of Energy spent close to $9 billion building the project, and he vetoed interim storage of temporary storage for nuclear waste, as Congressman Gibbons and I were able to do this past fall. But what he did was veto interim storage, temporary storage. At the same time, his administration was spending $9 billion building Yucca Mountain, and we can go back through Democrats
Congressman, I got to
and
stop
Republicans.
You've got the last word in over Andy, and that's a very rare thing on this program. We thank you very much for being here. You're welcome back anytime, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congressman Jon Porter, live by satellite from Washington. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Allegra is Northern Nevada's #1 offset printing and digital copying facility.
From disc to destination, Allegra utilizes tomorrow's technology today. We specialize in booklets, catalogs, manuals, newsletters, stationery, and envelopes.
Xerox, Docutech, 4-color printing with Heidelberg Speedmaster, desktop publishing and design, graphic services, pickup and delivery.
If you need printing, Allegra can do it. From disc to destination.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on the program, we're joined by Kathy Augustine, who's our state controller.
Kathy, thank you so much for being with us. All right, we had the state treasurer, Brian Kurlicki, on here one day talking about the lease purchase plan for a new building in Carson City that had been approved by the Board of Examiners.
And now the Board of Finance.
And now the Board of Finance, but you, like Dean Heller before you in the Board of Examiners, he objected, and you have objected.
That's correct.
Why?
Because there was a ballot initiative in 1994, that placed the question on the ballot to the voters as to whether or not they wanted the state to enter lease purchase agreements. And overwhelmingly, on a vote to 6-1, that was defeated. And I think that this goes against the wishes of the voters.
Well, and that was similar to Dean Heller's objection also. Secretary of State was that this was contrary to the wishes of the voters. Will this cost us money or save us money, though, Kathy, what they're doing with this lease purchase plan?
Well, the state treasurer believes that it will save us money because we are leasing right now so many buildings around Carson City and in Reno and other parts of the state, down in Las Vegas as well. And so they figure if we can lease for 27 years, in the end, if the building is ours, owned by the state, then it will be a cost savings to the state of Nevada. But we'll have to wait to see if, in fact, that occurs.
So are we seeing this attitude of nobody cares what the voters happen to think about things?
Well, in my eyes, I do believe that we need to follow what the voters say, and the voters are the ones who put us in our office. They're the ones that we need to listen to.
Interesting. There are other bodies that might not agree with you in our state. There had been discussion of you running against Senator Reid for his Senate seat in the upcoming election.
Yes.
You decided against that now.
That's correct. I did go back to Washington, D.C. and meet with the Republican Senatorial Committee, and several other pundits had been pushing me to run in that race, but I've decided that the timing is not right, and so I've got 3 more years to serve in my capacity as state controller.
So we might see Richard Zeiser evidently is going ahead and running against Senator Reid.
Yes, he is.
And we might see State Treasurer Brian Kurlicki.
Yes, the state treasurer is the only one who has formed an exploratory committee to move ahead. The Secretary of State has not either, although he has also been in Washington, D.C. talking to the lobbyists and pundits and other U.S. senators as well.
At this stage in the game, is there a Republican in the state that could beat Harry Reid?
Right.
That would be tough. It would be very tough to do. I think the race could be won with a lot of grassroots, because it's very difficult for the U.S. Senator to come into Washington, D.C., or into Nevada from Washington, D.C. because of all of his time commitments. But I think it would be very difficult.
And very expensive. I have in my hands here this fine publication that can be found in public libraries across the state. State of Nevada Citizens Assets, an annual report on state government to the citizens of Nevada from your office. What's the most important thing that you found in this report?
That we are on an economic rebound in the state. And incidentally, we named it Citizens Assets because, in fact, the assets are and do belong to the citizens of the state of Nevada. This is their money, not our money at the state level. And
Thank you.
I think a lot of people at times lose sight of that. This is in fact the citizens' money. But as I said, the good news is we found that we are on an economic rebound in the state. We haven't fully recovered from 9/11. The general fund is still not at the levels that it should be, but we are finding that all of our taxable commodities are up.
I'm sorry. And you're projecting more growth for Nevada, is that right?
Yes, that is correct. Again, at a slower pace than we've seen during the boom of the 90s, but we are on the rebound.
Well, with the building explosion in southern Nevada currently, as far as new major hotel casino properties and new hotel towers, it seems to me that we're going to see tremendous growth coming up again starting in 2005 when Steve Wynn's new property opens.
And we probably will see taxable sales exceed gaming revenues again when that happens, because usually when a new hotel casino property opens, they take into account all of the sales taxes for construction items that are used on the building of the property. So yes, I would anticipate that we're going to see a boom when Las Vegas opens.
Kathy Augustine, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We'll be back with...
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I know. Hold it. I just want people to know that they can get their own copy of the annual report of state government from Kathy Augustine at their local library. It's free.
Free of charge or on our website.
Can we go to commercial break now?
On our website.
Let's go make some money.
Okay.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Aboud family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on the pundit panel here, we have George Peak, Martha Gould, and Keith Lee. A terrific panel as always. Ande, you get the first shot here.
Okay, I want to get feedback from everybody. The president gives the State of the Union, and notoriously, the president's numbers go up after a State of the Union. But in this case, George Bush's numbers dropped. Why?
Well, I think, one, if I were George Bush, I'd fire my speechwriters. I thought that was about the most uninspired State of the Union address I've ever listened to. And I would suggest that had the Democratic response not been so bad in and of itself, that the president's numbers would have dropped even further. So I thought it was a unspectacular night where a lot of prime time was used up.
Except for us, we were great.
Well,
Actually, you were great.
Oh, thank you.
I have to agree that his speechwriters should be tossed, but it was so blatantly political in terms of the forthcoming campaign.
And you're surprised?
No, of course I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at anything that this president does, because I don't think this president really has the welfare of the nation at heart. I think he just plain wants to get re-elected and doesn't care.
George, you're a Republican. You have anything to say about this?
Absolutely nothing, because I have to beg the question. I was out of the country and did not see Well, I could comment on what Martha had to say.
We'll get you a videotape copy.
If you look at the things that are going on in this country, then we talk about the economic recovery, and I keep on thinking about the fact that we aren't creating jobs, and at some point this is going to come back to bite us, and bite us big time.
Absolutely right.
Let's change subject a little bit, and I brought this up with the Congressman. I want to bring it up and get your opinions. Just astonished with former Chief Weapons Inspector David Kay's revelations over the weekend that essentially Iraq has not had any weapons of mass destruction since the first Gulf War, that scientists were going to Saddam Hussein with crazy projects that Saddam Hussein was funding, and they were then absconding with the money, that Tariq Aziz has apparently reported that Saddam Hussein has been a loony for the last couple of years, and with all the billions and billions of dollars we spend on intelligence, we are not getting any intelligence. George?
It's a tragedy, and why this didn't come out as we were going into Iraq is unconscionable. To come in after the fact, what can you say?
It is unconscionable, but one of the problems I think that the intelligence community has faced is the fact that they don't have people on the ground. They have decided to use technology, and technology will never take the place of having someone there listening to what's been talked about in the marketplace.
But Martha, right after 9/11, the CIA put out want ads everywhere. I mean, they said, we need people who can speak these languages, we need to do more people-to-people intelligence, and clearly that's been the goal of the administration.
But you look at 9/11.
But it takes time.
It does. It takes, but 9/11, I mean, and backing up for a minute to your question, Sam, I mean, would it have made any difference to the president? I believe that had the issue of weapons of mass destruction never arisen, never raised its head, as it were, we'd still have gone to war. I think that was one of sort of the building blocks, if you will, one of the rationalizations that was used. We'd still gone to war. And I agree with Martha that our human intelligence capability has been in the tank for the last 10 or 12 years, and you can't build that overnight. 9/11 would never occur.
You don't fund
George, don't you believe
intelligence.
that the president came into office knowing he wanted to go after Saddam Hussein and wanted to get rid of him because of his
That
father?
is probably true, but I want to comment on what Martha said concerning the intelligence community, and that is we made a policy. We weren't going with the
human need.
The human need, which was swarthy individuals who could get into the bad guys and find out what they were talking about, which is absolutely necessary. But again, this was a policy that started out, like he said, 9-10 years ago.
But I guess the thing that shocks me, and I agree with everything you're all saying, but the fact that we pay all this money to the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, and Lord knows how many intelligence agencies we don't even know about,
They don't
and
talk
none
to
of
one
them had a
another.
clue.
They don't talk to one another. They don't share their information. And they
But they didn't
fight
have any
among themselves.
information, apparently.
Well, they may have had information, but the bottom line is if the left hand doesn't talk to the right hand, don't be surprised at what happens.
And there's turf battles. Today's newspaper, there's an article about, of the 19 or 20 hijackers that we had on 9/11, 9 or 10 of them were suspect. They were here on passports that should have raised questions, and whether the FBI failed in its responsibility or another intelligence gathering agency
one
did.
INS officer kept one out. One guy did his job right and kept one of them out. And
I think it's very interesting, too, that's the Commission on 9/11 issuing a report yesterday. And I thought what was interesting about that was that everybody was trying to come into this country in a legal fashion. not an illegal fashion. They weren't
That's
coming
right.
over the borders.
Sure.
They were coming in through the airports in a legitimate fashion. And
With the proper papers.
With the proper papers.
Even if they were false.
Yeah, the questions were raised by some of those papers, and they got through. And you know, I mean, again, it's the basic human intelligence. You can't infiltrate these organizations overnight. It takes years and years and years to infiltrate.
That's right.
So in 20 years, we may have the information?
Hopefully.
The bottom line is, and I'm really going to go out on a limb, the bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, is a 3-letter word, not a 4-letter word, oil. And I think that's one of the reasons we went into Iraq.
Okay, quickly, I'm going to get a prediction for today's New Hampshire primary.
That's not even a toughie.
Okay, let's start with George.
Well, I really would like to predict that it's not going to make one whit of difference because we're going to have George Bush in the White House come November.
Okay.
And I thoroughly disagree.
Well, what a fine
Hurry
prediction.
I'm from New Hampshire, so I think that it's going to be a crapshoot.
I agree with George, but Kerry, Dean, and Clark. In that order.
I think John Kerry has the momentum, and our cameraman has the momentum. So I got to get out of here. We'll be right back.
Get this little thing.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Andy, we have 25 seconds. Let's use them wisely.
Okay, tomorrow Terry Hickman is going to answer a big question for us. Why is it we keep pouring money into education and nothing ever improves? And then we're going to talk to Peter Padilla.
I can't wait for the responses. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching.